Hello, this is a card game that Amy and I made, and we don't quite have a name for it yet. I proposed Couple Doom, but she doesn't quite like it, so if you have any suggestions, please let us know. It's a cooperative game, which means that you either win or lose together as a couple. So we think of it as a tool for you and your partner to explore your relationship in a playful way and to understand the challenges that you have as a couple, as well as triggering conversations that help you balance maybe your relationship. So, how do you play in a nutshell? You play cards, and at the beginning of the game, they will be stuck between a together pile and an apart pile. So, you'll be picking cards from the together pile, distribute them between the two of you, and then try to play them and get rid of as many as you can before the apart stack runs out. So if you get to the bottom of the together pile and you reveal this card, then you win. Otherwise, if the apart cards run out, you lose. I'm going to explain to you how to set up the game. So there are 50 cards in total. Agreed is agree, apart together, yes and no times 2, and many more cards. All these cards here are themed. So there are 6 themes in total. And these are me, yellow, orange or red for we, blue for them, green for health, turquoise for wealth, and mauve for relations. So these 6 cards are called action cards. They're generally positive cards. Then you have 6 slightly negative cards. As you can see, they're also themed. These are challenging cards. And then all the other cards are questions that have combinations of 2 of those themes. So for instance, am I happy with my body? Has a combination of health, green, and me, which is yellow. Am I happy with my career so far? Is again me, yellow, and mauve, which is wealth. So I'm going to shuffle them and then we can start playing. Once you have shuffled the cards and split them between together and apart, you can pick 3 cards each from together. So 1, 2, and 3. And now you're going to be taking turns playing 1 card at a time. So let me see my cards. You don't want to see, you don't want to show the cards that you have to your partner, because this is a cooperative game, but you still have this element of hidden information. So these are my cards, and I think I'm going to play this one here. So when you play a question, you put it down in the middle, you read it out. Am I happy with my body? And that's a combination of health and me. You can discuss the meaning of the question with your partner, but you shouldn't hint at what your answer is going to be, because that's what the yes and no cards are for. So secretly, you want to decide whether your answer is more of a yes or more of a no. You might not have a yes or no straight answer, but just pick one. So I pick one and I put my answer down here. And then my imaginary partner here also puts down an answer. When we both have chosen an answer, we reveal. It's a yes, yes. So both yes, that means that we both agree. We all are happy with our bodies. Cool. So now is my partner's turn. And my partner is going to play this card. Question: do we have a healthy lifestyle? This is a combination of health, green, and orange, which is we. Again, use the yes and no cards to decide what your answer is more of, yes or no. Say yes, and my imaginary partner is going to say no. Okay, so in this case, yes and no, we disagree. We have a disagreement. We're not aligned on this one. Cool. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna play this card. Am I happy with my career so far? Yes. So that goes onto the agree. And that also would happen if we both had no. So when you have matching cards, yes and yes, or no and no, then they go onto the agree. The question cards go onto the agree line. If you mismatch, then you go into the disagree. Now this is interesting because you've got 2 yellow cards on the agree line. If we had a third card that has yellow on this line, then this line would be lost. So you're trying to put down as many cards as you can, but no more than 3 carrying the same symbol, because in that case the line is lost and it has to go back to together, and making the game harder. So for instance, let's say that let's pick another yellow card. Okay, let's say that we had this situation, yellow, yellow, yellow. There's 3 cards. This line would be lost, which means that we would have to take these cards and shuffle them back into the together, and then later on we would have to play them again, but we're not quite there yet. So partner plays this card. So this is a challenge card, it's not a question, and the challenge cards, you play them on yourself. So in this case, you would put it in front of you here. And challenge cards count as 1 card of that color or theme, both on the agree and on the disagree line. So in this case, we would have again a situation where you have 1, 2, and 3 cards on the agree line, which means that those 2 cards would be lost, and they would have to be shuffled back into the together. So let's say that was a bad move. We're not going to play that, but we're going to play this instead. Are we happy with the support we give to society? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes and no. Cool. So that goes onto the disagree line. At this point, this might go. When arguing, do we tend to start by pointing fingers? Yes or no? Disagree. Cool. And I have no more cards, so I'm going to stop here. And my partner is also going to stop. You can stop at any point when you don't have any more cards, or when you don't want to play any more cards, because that would be disruptive, as we've seen earlier. At this point, we don't want to play any more cards, which means that we can choose to discard one of the 2 lines. In this case, I would say, well, it's an interesting case because you've got 3 cards here that we could discard, 3 cards closer to victory, or we could discard these 2, which are both yellow. Now let's say that we discard these 2, so those go away, and then we prepare for the next round. Before you do that, you need to count the number of cards that you have left in your hands. So I have none here, and there is 1 here. Remember that challenging cards. So you count them, say 1 total, and then you move that number from apart to together. And then you decide how many you want to pick for the next round. So I would say, let's say 2 each. 2 and 2. And then you start the next round. So the goal of the game is to get to the bottom and play the cards that you would get from together. In which case, you would win before the apart cards run out. As you can see, the apart cards run out at the end of each round by counting the number of cards that are left in your hands and moving that number from here to there. So you're trying to empty your hand as much as possible by placing the cards on these two lines and then clearing one line at a time. But you've got that limit, which is no more than 3 cards of the same type on a line. Good luck. We hope that this game stimulates some nice conversations, some deep conversations, and it will help you learn perhaps something new about your relationship. And let us know if you have questions. This is the first attempt at making a video tutorial for me, so any feedback is super appreciated. Bye.